Last month, I invited friends over for a weekend barbecue, only to unwrap a disappointing, great-looking steak from my local grocery store. We've all been there, staring at overpriced, mystery origin meat in plastic wrap, wondering if it'll taste like shoe leather. Finding a reliable, high-quality meat delivery box feels like a massive gamble. But after spending weeks ordering, unboxing, and tasting the most popular meat boxes on the market, I found the ultimate solutions. Stay tuned, because the number one box on this list completely changed how I think about cooking at home. 5. Grumpy Butcher Steaks Gift Set. When this box arrived on my porch, I was initially impressed by the sturdy packaging and the promise of premium butcher cut steaks delivered right to my door. The box comes packed with dry ice, ensuring that the meat stays frozen solid during transit, which is always a massive relief when you are having raw food shipped across the country. Inside, you get a decent variety of cuts designed to satisfy a standard family dinner or a modest weekend cookout without requiring you to visit a specialty butcher. The marbling on these steaks look promising right out of the vacuum-sealed plastic, suggesting a rich, buttery flavor once they hit the cast iron skillet. I decided to test the ribeyes first, keeping the seasoning incredibly simple with just coarse sea salt and cracked black pepper to let the natural meat flavor shine. While they seared beautifully and developed a really nice crust, the tasting experience left me feeling a little bit underwhelmed. The texture was slightly chewier than I anticipate from a premium steak gift box, lacking that melt-in-your-mouth tenderness you want from a high-end cut. Another thing I noticed during my intensive testing process is that the portion sizes feel a bit inconsistent across the board. If you are serving guests and want everyone to have an identical steak on their plate, you might find yourself doing a bit of careful carving and redistributing in the kitchen to make things fair. For a box that markets itself as a high-end gift set, these minor discrepancies in thickness and cut quality can be a real letdown when you... 4. Hickory Farm's signature farmhouse favorites. This one is a bit of a pivot from raw steaks, offering a curated selection of summer sausages, cheeses, and mustards designed for instant snacking and entertaining. When I unpacked this classic holiday staple, the nostalgic branding immediately brought back great memories of family gatherings. It is incredibly convenient to have a ready-to-eat charcuterie spread delivered to your door, saving you the massive hassle of wandering the crowded deli aisles to piece together an appetizer platter. I set up a tasting board with the signature beef summer sausage, the smoked Gouda blend, and a famous sweet hot mustard to see how it held up to my memories. The sausage has that familiar, smoky, deeply savory flavor profile that pairs wonderfully with a crisp cracker and a sharp dollop of mustard. However, as I dug deeper into the box and kept tasting, the mass-produced nature of the ingredients became a bit too obvious. The cheese blends felt quite processed and slightly rubbery, lacking the complex, sharp, or crumbly textures you expect from an authentic, high-quality artisanal cheese board. Furthermore, the actual volume of food you receive feels surprisingly small once you remove all the cardboard inserts and festive packaging holding it together. It creates a beautiful presentation when you first open the lid, but if you're hosting more than 3 or 4 hungry people, this box is going to disappear in a matter of minutes. I found myself needing to supplement the board with my own fresh fruits, artisan nuts, and additional high-quality cheeses from my local market just to make it feel like a complete, satisfying appetizer spread for my guests. 3. Grumpy Butcher Beef Sirloin Steak Tips. I was eager to see if this specific cut could redeem the brand for me after the mixed experience with their gift box, and I'm happy to report that these sirloin tips offer a significantly better culinary experience. When I opened the cooler, I found generous portions of deeply colored, well-marbled sirloin flat meat that looked absolutely perfect for high-heat grilling or quick, aggressive pan-searing on a busy weeknight. Sirloin tips are often a vastly underappreciated cut, but they pack an incredibly robust, deeply beefy flavor that rivals much more expensive steaks when cooked correctly. I decided to marinate these overnight in a simple garlic, soy sauce, and olive oil blend before tossing them onto a blazing hot grill. The meat absorbed the savory marinade beautifully, and the resulting charred crust was absolutely spectacular. Unlike my experience with their standard gift box steaks, these sirloin tips were brilliantly tender and practically melted in my mouth with every single bite. What I love most about this specific delivery is its incredible versatility in the home kitchen. Over the course of a week, I used these steak tips to make everything from hearty winter beef stews and sizzling restaurant-style fajitas to a simple, elegant steak salad for lunch. The meat holds its own perfectly against strong spices and heavy sauces, making it an absolute workhorse for weekly family meal prep. The tight vacuum-sealed packaging kept everything remarkably fresh in the fridge until I was absolutely ready to use it. If you're looking for a high-quality, everyday meat delivery that doesn't completely break the bank but still delivers genuine gourmet flavor, this Grumpy Butcher Sirloin box is a fantastic choice. 2. Carnivore Classic Box. If you're tired of standard steaks and want to thoroughly explore the world of premium handcrafted cured meats, this box is an absolute revelation for your taste buds. Arriving in a sleek, forward cardboard box, the presentation alone makes you feel like you are opening a chest of rare culinary treasure. Inside, I found an incredibly impressive array of artisanal salamis, prosciuttos, and cured whole mussels expertly crafted by small batch artisans from all around the country. The exact moment I sliced into the truffle-infused salami included in my box, I knew I was dealing with a completely different tier of quality. The aromas were intoxicating, earthy, and complex, far surpassing anything you could ever hope to find hanging in a standard grocery store deli aisle. Each piece of meat in this box tells a unique story of careful aging, precise seasoning, and traditional, old-world curing methods. I spent an entire afternoon just happily sampling the different textures, moving from a melt-in-your-mouth lardo to a spicy, incredibly dense Spanish-style chorizo. This box is the ultimate secret weapon for anyone who genuinely loves hosting dinner parties or curating high-end charcuterie boards for their friends. You don't have to do any actual cooking. You simply slice, serve, and let the incredible, robust flavors do all the heavy lifting for you. I paired the contents with a bold red wine and some crusty sourdough bread, and it easily rivaled the expensive appetizers I've had at top-tier Italian restaurants. The curation team at Carnivore Club clearly knows exactly how to balance different flavor profiles in a single monthly delivery. The Carnivore Classic Box is an absolute must-try for dedicated foodies and meat lovers who want to rapidly expand their palate beyond the standard backyard barbecue fare. 1. Crowd Cow Wagyu. If you want the absolute pinnacle of luxury meat delivery, the kind of beef that makes you close your eyes and savor every single bite, this is undeniably it. When my Crowd Cow box arrived, the entire unboxing experience felt entirely premium, featuring beautiful, sustainable packaging and detailed information cards explaining exactly which independent farm raised the cattle. The sheer density of the white intramuscular fat on these Wagyu cuts was mesmerizing, looking like a piece of intricate edible art before it even hit the pan. Cooking real Wagyu beef is a unique experience in itself, and I treated these expensive steaks with the utmost respect, using a screaming hot cast iron skillet to get a rapid edge-to-edge crust. Because the fat content is so incredibly high, the steak essentially bastes itself in its own rich, savory drippings as it cooks, requiring almost no butter or oil. The moment I took my first bite, I completely and utterly understood the massive hype surrounding this meat. The beef was impossibly tender, dissolving completely on my tongue with a deep, buttery, intense umami flavor that standard grocery store beef simply cannot replicate. What sets Crowd Cow Miles apart from every other delivery service I rigorously tested is their unmatched commitment to farm sourcing and radical transparency. You aren't just buying generic, unlabeled high-end beef. You're buying directly from specific, award-winning farms that heavily prioritize ethical raising practices and exceptional animal genetics. I felt incredibly good about the meat I was eating, knowing the exact origins and the extreme care that went into producing it.